When people talk about lasting love stories in Hollywood, they usually mention glamorous red carpet couples or high-profile romances that burn bright and disappear just as quickly. But beneath the surface of the industry, behind the film sets, the magazine covers, and the glitter, there are rare relationships that quietly endure. One of those stories belongs to Sam Elliott, the actor whose unmistakable voice, stoic presence, and timeless cowboy charm have made him an American icon. Now, in his late 70s, Elliott has reached a stage of life where reflection comes naturally, and for the first time, he speaks openly about the woman who has shaped his world for more than 4 decades. Their story has been whispered about, speculated on, and romanticized by fans. But the truth behind their lasting bond is far richer, more complex, and far more human than the rumors ever suggested. Sam Elliott, born Samuel Pack. Elliott entered the world on August 9, 1944, in Sacramento, California. He arrived in a family rooted in discipline, hard work, and strong values. His father, Henry Nelson Elliott, worked for the Department of the Interior as a predator control specialist, a tough, physically demanding job tied deeply. His mother, Glynn Elliott, was a physical training instructor and a high school teacher, a woman who believed in structure, resilience, and education. Although Sam was born in California, his parents' lineage stretched back to the rugged landscapes of Texas, where both sides of his family originated. Even though he spent most of his childhood in Oregon, the influence of Texas, its rural culture, its straightforwardness, its grit, would quietly shape his personality and eventually become a signature part of his screen identity. At the age of 13, Sam's family moved north from Sacramento to Portland, Oregon. The transition marked the beginning of a formative chapter in his life. The Pacific Northwest's forests, rain-soaked skies, and quiet neighborhoods gave Sam the kind of childhood that encouraged imagination. He spent most of his time outdoors or at the movie theater, where the flickering images of Western heroes and larger-than-life characters stirred something deep inside him. By 9 years old, Sam had already made up his mind. He wanted to be an actor. It was not a vague dream, not a passing childish fancy, but a conviction he carried into adolescence. Yet, his father viewed acting with skepticism. To him, it wasn't a real profession. It certainly wasn't stable, and most of all, it wasn't respectable. Sam would later recall in interviews that his father died, still believing Sam was chasing the wrong dream. They never resolved their disagreements, something that weighed heavily on Sam for years. His father had a heart attack and passed away when Sam was just 18, a loss that shook him and forced him to confront the question of who he wanted to be. Sam graduated from David Douglas High School in 1962 and attempted to follow a more traditional path. He enrolled at the University of Oregon, studying English and psychology, but school felt like a detour, a compromise forced on him by expectations he no longer wanted to meet. He dropped out, tried again, and dropped out once more after his father's death. Finally, he realized he had to stop living in fear of disappointing people and commit to the path that had always called to him. He moved to Los Angeles at the age of 21, determined to become an actor no matter how difficult the journey would be. He worked construction jobs during the day to pay rent and attended acting classes at night. Hollywood was full of hopefuls just like him, thousands of young men and women chasing the same dream, and he knew it would take time before anyone noticed him. His first role was small, barely more than a passing appearance, in the blockbuster 1969 hit Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. He played a nameless card player number 2, to be exact. It was a blink-and-you-miss-it moment. He didn't speak. He didn't share a scene with the leads. He didn't even get to talk to the film's female star, a young actress named Catherine Ross. She was already well on her way to becoming a Hollywood darling after her success in The Graduate. Sam, meanwhile, was just one of hundreds of hopeful actors with bit parts. He would later joke that all he could do was watch her from afar, fully aware that she was a rising star while he was just another guy on the lot. Throughout the 1970s, Sam slowly built a solid reputation as a dependable, charismatic actor. He appeared in popular television shows like Mission Impossible, Gunsmoke, and Hawaii 5-0. His rugged good looks and natural masculinity made him appealing to casting directors, and soon enough, he was being groomed as a potential romantic lead. But Sam didn't want to be boxed into the image of a handsome leading man. He didn't want to be reduced to a stereotype. So he grew out his now signature long hair and mustache, a look that became instantly recognizable and deeply connected to the Western genre. He acted in biopics, thrillers, dramas, and TV movies. But it was clear that something about the American West resonated with him. The stoic hero, the lone rider, the moral code. These characters reflected parts of Sam's own upbringing and personality. In the mid-1980s, his career took a major leap forward. He appeared in Mask alongside Cher and Eric Stoltz, a film that explored themes of love, disability, and the strength required to embrace life despite overwhelming challenges. Sam's emotional performance gained significant critical praise and helped establish him as a serious dramatic actor. His role as the wise, seasoned bouncer, Wade Garrett, in Roadhouse pushed him even further into the public eye. Fans were enamored with his gritty charm, his gravel-smooth voice, and the quiet depth he brought to every performance. Despite his on-screen toughness, Sam's real life revealed a very different side. A man who valued loyalty, consistency, and emotional honesty. His love story with Catherine Ross finally began in 1978, nearly a decade after their silent encounter on Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. They reunited on the set of The Legacy, a supernatural thriller filmed in an eerie English mansion. This time, they shared scenes. They talked. They laughed. The chemistry was immediate and undeniable. Catherine Ross was 5 years older than Sam and had already been married 4 times. Sam didn't judge her past. He simply saw the woman she was in front of him, her intelligence, her grace, her talent, her warmth. They began dating, and despite the pressures, the gossip, and the complexities of blending 2 lives shaped by the industry, their bond only grew stronger. In 1984, they married, and 1 year later, they welcomed their daughter, Cleo Rose Elliott. But the story of their bond goes deeper than marriage. It's about how they supported each other. When Sam auditioned for Mask while they were on their honeymoon, Catherine encouraged him to go, even though it meant cutting their romantic trip short. She understood how the industry worked, and she believed in his talent. That support changed the course of his life. Over the decades, Sam continued to evolve as an actor. He starred in Tombstone, The Big Lebowski, We Were Soldiers, The Hero, Thank You for Smoking, and countless westerns that turned him into a cinematic icon. He lent his deep, resonant voice to commercials, documentaries, animated films, and even Super Bowl narrations. In 2018, his role in A Star Is Born earned him an Academy Award nomination, a recognition long overdue. And in 2022, his haunting portrayal of Shay Brennan in 1883 won him a Screen Actors Guild Award. Through all of it, through decades of Hollywood success, career reinventions, and personal challenges, Catherine Ross remained the anchor in his life. Their marriage survived career hurdles, parenting struggles, changing lifestyles, and the inevitable stress that comes with fame. They built a quiet, private life together on a ranch in Malibu and kept another home in Portland, maintaining a connection to Sam's childhood roots. While celebrity marriages often burn out under public scrutiny, Sam and Catherine's union thrived because it was built on shared values, patience, and the determination to grow together rather than apart. They respected each other's careers. They learned to weather disagreements without letting them fracture their bond. They chose each other again and again, even when it was difficult. Now, after more than 40 years together, Sam Elliott finally addresses the rumors that have swirled for decades about the true love of his life. It was always Catherine. She was the woman who understood him, uplifted him, and grew with him. The one who saw the real Sam, the man behind the mustache, behind the cowboy hat, behind the iconic voice. Their story isn't perfect. It isn't flashy. It isn't the kind of romance Hollywood usually sells. It's better. It's real. And in a world where relationships can fade as quickly as box office numbers, Sam Elliott and Catherine Ross remain proof that love, when nurtured with respect and unwavering commitment, can endure for a lifetime. Their journey, one forged through distance, destiny, heartbreak, and triumph, is a reminder that the most powerful love stories aren't scripted. They are lived.